Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Hey, welcome to everyone at Lake Superior Interfaith Community Church and all those on Zoom. And Phyllis, thank you so much for being with us today. This is awesome. So I don't have my notes right with me, so 1 minute, please. I don't have memory. All right, this is the way it is. So I would like to, of course, say thank you again to Phyllis for being here. I would like to read the statement of intent that we continue to be fortunate to have a variety of speakers for Sunday services. And by using guest speakers, we gain wisdom from all those who share. This is a church community where we can worship the God of our own understanding, to experience joy and be uplifted, to gain strength and inspiration we can share with others throughout the week. We invite you to join us in this celebration of life, to nourish your spirit and to enjoy the community of kindred souls. And so now maybe we can sing Let There Be Peace, okay?
Good morning. Good morning. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Okay, let's have Sue come up with announcements. Okay.
All right. Yes, I know. Good morning, everybody. It's a lovely day in the neighborhood. Beautiful day, beautiful day. Just to let you know, we do have at the back of the church, we have a suggestion box. If you have any ideas or comments or questions or people you would like to see speaking at church, we have that box available. If you want to put a little note in there and let us know what's on your mind. Otherwise, if you are not in the church or around the church to be able to put a suggestion in the box, we do have other available methods. You can always email us. The email address is Interfaith on 9th Street. The number 9 is the number 9, not spelled out. So it's Interfaith on the number 9, TH Street at gmail.com. You could always call us too. Give us a call, leave a voicemail. We'll get those voicemails and get those that information. And you could also contact a board member. There are plenty of us around that you can give us a shout and let us know if you have any ideas for speakers, ideas for things to do at the church, or other ideas. Who is speaking next week?
Jasmine.
Jasmine Phoenix is speaking next week on Easter Sunday. So come and join us next week. It's also the third Sunday. Are we doing lunch next Sunday too?
Yes.
Yes, on the third Sunday of each month, we will be doing lunch. So come on and join us here and have a little meal with us. Check out our website. We have a website, we also have a Facebook page, and we also have a paper newsletter. So if you want to come in and grab a copy of our newsletter, you can see what's going on and what's been going on, and those are some great ways to get connected with us. If you missed or would like to re-watch one of our services, we do record them so you can watch them on YouTube. Today's service will be on a few days later than what we have now. We just take a few days to upload it, but you can check us out on YouTube. Look at some of our past services. We'd love to have you catch up with us. One service a month will be dedicated to our unity services. We are becoming an evolving church through unity, and they love to have us, show us what we're doing with unity. So we're doing one Sunday a month for a unity service, which is the last Sunday of the month. So come and check out what we got going on this month. The Unity Book Discussion Group is Sunday night at 6 p.m. We will have it in the church and on Zoom, so if you want to join that, you don't have to be we're in the middle of a book, but that's okay. We have some great topics that we discuss, whether it be book related or not. So join us, and if you want some information about that, we are at 6 p.m. in the church basement and on Zoom. If you need a Zoom link, let us know. Donations. If you have any donations that you'd like to give to the church of any kind, like monetary, we have lots of ways you can do that. You can send it to us by mail, you can come and drop it off in person, or we do have a PayPal account, so check that out too. Also for donations, we will be working on fundraisers. We have our rummage sale and book sale. Sometimes we put them together. We'll see what happens this year. It's going to be a great mystery. But if you are cleaning out your house and getting rid of clutter, think of some of that clutter as good stuff. Remember, one man's trash is another man's treasure, or woman's, whatever. So keep your stuff in a nice, safe, dry place, whether it be books or other things that you think would be helpful to us and want to donate them. Make sure you keep those things on hand for our rummage and book sale. Consider joining our summer gardening group, okay? So, putting your hands in the dirt is a spiritual thing. So if you want to get more spiritual, let's get dirty together and get some gardening going. We have a lovely set of gardens that we have maintained throughout the years. So please keep that in mind for this summer. Granted, it's still coming. It is coming. And the one thing we want to ask for is that you think about other people in your prayers today. We have our healing bowl on the podium with requests for prayers. I know that Sharon Captain and Jean Captain are still to be in our prayers because they have both contracted COVID, and they need us to pray for them for healing. Also, Debbie Guitar has requested a prayer request because someone in their family also has contracted COVID. It's Debbie herself. So we want to make sure everybody who contracts that awful thing is healthy soon. And so let's pray. We will put their prayers and considerations, either mentally or physically, into our healing bowl and pray with them over the course of today's service. Also, is there anyone else with a prayer request today? Hold on. And don't forget, come and join us for coffee and sweets. We do have coffee, we do have sweets, we are here, we are open. We want you to come and join in our community of conversation. And as I've said before, on the third Sunday, we will be having soup and sandwiches or some kind of snacky lunch. And we have one today, so if you are on Zoom right now, come visit us after the service and have lunch with us, okay? And hi, Phyllis, good to see you. And Jasmine, you have an announcement?
Good morning. Well, it looks as though I'm going to be organizing our church rummage sale again this spring because I apparently am a glutton for punishment, and I have not learned from past experience that it's a lot of work. And yet I must enjoy it because I keep coming back. It is a lot of work, but there's a great sense of satisfaction, especially the morning after the rummage sale when I get to let all of us know how much money we've made. That is a very strong incentive for me. So just briefly, I have not chosen a date yet. It's going to depend on what things look like in my world before I commit, but it will probably be late May or early June. So please do hold on to your good stuff. There will be reminders. There was a reminder in the recent newsletter about the kind of stuff we want and can use, and also specifically the kind of stuff we don't want, because that just takes up unnecessary time when we're sorting and or causes us to have to dispose of things appropriately. So you know that we want stuff. As soon as we publish that date, please look at your calendar and see what kind of commitment you can make to help this happen. There are several times during the week leading up to the sale when we need workers. For those of you who have done this before, you know that we're never here for more than maybe 3 hours. And we laugh and visit and look at stuff that people donate and chuckle to ourselves and so forth. So please remember that we need not just your stuff, but you personally to help us get this to happen. So as soon as that date is published, it'll be everywhere. It'll be on Facebook, website, email, all kinds of places to let you know how you can help. So please keep that in mind. And you know, it's almost the middle of April. June 1st is going to be here before we blink. So looking forward to seeing you as you come to help with the rummage sale in the near future. Thank you.
Thank you, Jasmine. Thank you, Sue. I would like to say the unity principles. This would be, we have the papers here, so. Okay, God is the source and creator of all. There is no other enduring power. God is good and present everywhere. We are spiritual beings created in God's image. The Spirit of God lives within each person. Therefore, all people are inherently good. We create our life experiences through the way of our thinking. There is power in affirmative prayer, which we believe increases our awareness of God. Knowledge of these spiritual principles is not enough. We must live them. So now we're going to sing Higher Ground, and Mike is going to lead this. Okay.
For those of you that are present, Higher Ground is on page 188 in the Spiritualist hymnal. This is one of the hymns that Phyllis has asked me to sing. And we'll be doing verses 1 and 4. I'm pressing on the upward way, new heights I'm gaining every day, still praying as I onward bound, Lord, plant my feet on higher ground. Lord, lift me up on higher ground. My faith in heaven's tableland, a higher plane than I have found. Lord, plant my feet on higher ground. I want to scale the most height and catch a gleam of glory bright. But still I'll pray till heaven I've found. Lord, lead me on to higher ground. Lord, lift me up on higher ground. What faith on heaven's tableland, a higher plane I have found. Lord, plant my feet on higher ground.
Thank you so much, Michael. Thank you, everyone. Okay, next I would like to say, Phyllis, we would look forward to your talk. Thank you so much, Phyllis. Okay.
Think I'm unmuted. Good. Good morning. Good morning, church. Good morning, everybody out there in virtual land along with me. I owe you just a little explanation of why I can't be there. My system, thankfully, I've learned over 80 years to do that. And my system said no. I paid too high a price when I pushed myself too far since I've had COVID a couple of times. So I am improving greatly and intend to be back at the church just as soon as I possibly can. But I am here with you virtually, and I'm in the church with my heart, and I am embracing all of you. I love my church. Our church is such a gift. I want to thank first Andrew and Steve for negotiating all the technology to make this happen. I think it's a lovely addendum to our church family grouping, because we can bring in speakers from anywhere and everywhere to speak at our lovely church and generously feel their energy and their support of our church. It's a wonderful thing. I'm so grateful. I also want to thank Mark in advance for preparing a lovely lunch. I am going to enjoy it virtually and think about all you lovingly taking part in Mark's meal. Thank you, Mark. We're in such a time of change, we cannot begin to grasp it all. Today, we are talking about being the most authentic self we can be. In time of such great change, we do need to go within. We need to remember that God's design is alive and well in every one of us, and the whole planet depends on each one of us to contribute in the most positive way possible to the conditions that are existing. I mean, we look at the earth changes, the weather patterns, the plates are moving. There is not a day, apparently, according to seismologists, that there is not some earthquake activity somewhere. The earth is birthing a new body. What else could we expect of her except that she would be diligent in her task? And she is. The changes that are occurring are very difficult for us to manage often. We see what is happening in Ukraine and other places experiencing great drama, tragedy, horrific experience that is hard for us to grasp. We've had some drama in our country, but the magnitude of what is happening on the planet is sometimes very difficult for us to manage in our personal energy and in our language. It's one thing to pray for those who are suffering. It's another thing to pray for those who are perpetrating the agony. But it is important for us to remember that Jesus prayed for his murderers. He prayed for those who put him on the cross. Today is Palm Sunday. It is called Palm Sunday because as Jesus walked into the city, the crowds who adored him, who trusted in him, met him with palm fronds and great cheering, adoration. I think in the Christian tradition, this Palm Sunday is worthy of our attention, whatever our belief system, because we need to remember that Jesus was the most authentic person we knew at that time. And he was one of the most authentic people on the planet ever. So we can honor him for those reasons and for leaving a legacy for us to seek our own authentic selves. Even going forward, knowing he was going to be killed, still, he held his own. He didn't run away from what was going to happen to him. He stood for himself and for his beliefs and for the faith that he was practicing and demonstrating for the throngs of people who were following him. Here we are with our faith. We wouldn't be a part of this church if we didn't have faith of one sort or another. Thankfully, we can fall into community when we feel ourselves falling and rise up in community and say authentically, I'm not always standing up straight. Often I feel like I'm falling. And I'm grateful that you are all here, that you are supporting me. We can generously accept the benefits offered by our fellow parishioners from our community, and it is important that we open to receive it because the pressures on the planet right now are so extraordinary. We cannot escape them, whatever our faith. Think about the consciousness. We've talked about this before. We walk around looking like we're just individuals, walking around as singular people, but in that experience, we are surrounded by a consciousness that is global. It is more than global, it is cosmic. That consciousness supports all of us, and we all contribute to it, don't we? So we need to be every day aware of the words we speak, the things we say. Particularly difficult, I've found these days, difficulty in listening to conversation about the horrors and not entering into the drama, but to take a deep breath instead and step back, at least virtually step back, take a deep breath and again offer a prayer, remembering that we pray for those who are suffering and that it is not within our purview to know the life plan, the God plan of any other person. Every person's God design is alive and well within them. Every person, whatever their political stance, whatever the drama they are perpetrating, we are all part of the same consciousness, and we need to pray for all of them as well as for those who are suffering, obviously. It is essential that we breathe deeply. The pressure in the consciousness is so great. It's a psychic pressure. It weighs on everyone. It weighs on the planet itself and causes more trauma, more drama, more extraordinary physical circumstances. We need to remember that we're the crusaders. We're the ones who raise the flag and step forward. We're the ones who make a difference because we can breathe, we can pray, we can remember that though the consciousness is pressurized right now, we can rise above it. Your God design is alive and well within you. Mission to expand out and change the consciousness. Every time we breathe and pray and affirm the perfect action of every person, the perfect plan, if not the action, the perfect plan, the perfect design of every person, only then do we raise our consciousness. It is with that breath and that prayer, with that exceeding awareness, that we raise our vibration. And isn't that the journey that we are seeking to follow? That is the path, that we indeed have an intention to raise our personal vibration and so be the greater contributors to the planetary energy. This God design in every one of us, as I was considering it in the last couple of days, reminded me of some experiences with my grandchildren. And then when I looked at Facebook this morning, there's a whole series of posted conversations from people who observed their little children, especially, saying the most extraordinary things, like the little boy who leaned into his mother's tummy, and his mother said, "What are you doing?" And he said, "I'm listening to the baby talk to God because I've forgotten." That Godness in every one of us is a conversation that's going on constantly. And it did remind me of my granddaughter when she was between 2 and 3. And I had the joy of picking her up. Some of you have met Andrea. She's almost 22 now, believe it or not. But in those days, I would pick her up from daycare on Thursdays and drive her home and give her supper and so forth. And this day I'm driving her home and I hear the sweetest melody coming from the back seat, whistling, a whistling melody that was the sweetest thing I have ever heard. After it had gone on for just a little while, I looked up into the rearview mirror and Andrea's eyes caught mine and she said, "What was that?" And I said, "You were whistling." And she said, "How do you whistle?" And I said, "Well, I can't whistle. I'm not good at it. But you put your lips together and you blow out air." And then she tried to whistle and she couldn't. That God design in her was expressing herself in this beautiful melody, which touched my heart and changed me. It helped me to realize again and again and again, it has happened, that these wonderful children remind us that we all have this perfect God design within us, and we may temporarily have amnesia about it, but we are on our way to recalling that God voice, that God design within us. That authentic self within us always is alive and well. How do we learn to be authentic? Well, I think children know from the get-go how to be authentic. They hurt, they cry. They're hungry, they cry. They're angry, they shout. You know, children are authentic to themselves at any given time until they're trained not to be. So we've been trained not to be terribly authentic, not to speak our own mind or be the most present that we can be. We are now recalling how to be authentic. And so how do we learn it? Well, we get challenges. I mean, one challenge after another, right? One challenge after another to seek the authentic self within and speak our truth, not what we think other people are expecting of us. We've all had the experience. We're standing in front of a friend who asks us something that we know we can't do or we don't believe, and we acquiesce. We say, "Well, yes," or "Okay, and thank you," or we walk away. But we are trained not to express our authentic self because we've learned that being authentic can mean being confrontational. No, it is not about being confrontational. In fact, once we breathe, the emotional body relaxes. And when the emotional body relaxes, we are closer to the authentic voice within us. Whatever the pressure, whatever the difference in belief, whatever that contradiction might be to our own system, we can be authentic to it. We can be in a group of people and not stand for someone making a racial slur. We can be in a place where we see a child being abused and speak authentically to the experience to help that child. We can, in minor circumstances and major circumstances, find the authentic self. We need to breathe more when we're with other people and when we are being affected by their thoughts or behaviors. We need to speak who we are. Sometimes, I just had an experience with a client who doesn't believe in vaccination. There are a lot of people out there who don't. I need to breathe so as not to show that person my bias. And it is my bias. She has hers and I have mine. It is up to me to be authentic in the moment without confronting, to breathe and remember she has a perfect plan. Her God self is perfectly designed. She has a right to her own belief systems, and I have no right to contradict her. I can speak if it does not mean contradiction, but when I breathe, my words are changed. Isn't it true? When you're not breathing, your solar plexus freezes up, and what happens? Your emotions burst forth. We have tension, and so our language reflects the tension within us. When we pay attention to breath, whatever we want to say authentically comes up as a rolling tide right out of our mouths and soothes the situation. We are all capable of this. We can all be diplomats in a time of great stress, in a time of great change. The pressure is great, and so we feel it. And so we may forget sometimes to breathe and find the authentic self before speaking. But we owe it to ourselves and to others to find that place within us, the peace, the peace, the peace. I want us now to please together close our eyes, breathe very deeply, and release tension from your body. Release thoughts as far as you can. Allow your body to really relax and breathe. Breathe deeply into the center of your being, to your God design, to your most authentic self. Get acquainted with him or her. Get acquainted with it and know it is always at your disposal. It is always in reserve, waiting for you to give it permission. Let's be quiet for a few moments while we breathe into that sacred space and recall our authentic selves. The treasure lies within, the treasure we are born with, the DNA of God, the perfect design, the authentic self that has its own perfect voice. We trust it. We are getting to know it better. We surrender to it. And we remember that with every kind word spoken, with every deep breath taken, we are assisting the planet in birthing a new body. And that this contagion of love spreads across the planet and infects all of those who need it most, especially those who don't know they need it. We are the carriers, the contributors. We are the contagion of love. Let us breathe deeply into that love and know the perfection lies in all of us. Yes, we often have amnesia about that perfection. We often find ourselves tripping a little and falling, but we always need to remember that we are surrounded. As I meditated this morning in preparation for our service, Jesus gathered around me, and Matthew and Nicodemus and so many others, all the masters who have taught me over the years and who have reminded me that this church is a sacred place a cornerstone for the planet, as well as our community, and a voice in what can seem a dark place. We are a bright light. We breathe deeply and we recall our most authentic self, and therefore we rebirth our church in the most authentic voice that it can have. We give it strength. We give it power. We give it a communication voice that reaches out beyond who we are and where we are to those who might need us. The authentic voice I consider to be the most important thing I do besides loving, because the authentic voice is an expression of love and trust in self. Yes, others will take us more seriously when we speak authentically, but we will love ourselves more when we speak authentically. When we move into that peaceful place with breath and speak a truth without confrontation, but with peace and love, with a deep awareness that the planet is listening. The planet needs us. The people are counting on us. We are contagious. And I celebrate this contagion. I celebrate all of us. And I am grateful. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you, Phyllis. That's so beautiful. I would like to ask someone to bring the offering baskets up, and then we'll sing in the silence as we do. Michael, if you could come up. Thank you.
In the silence, there is a sacred place, a secret meeting place. Love is there. In the silence, where every color blends and every rainbow ends, good is there. In the light, now you find that you know peace of mind. In the silence, your path is paved in gold, and all your dreams unfold. Love is there. Peace is there. Truth is there. God is there.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, everyone. Just want to say blessings, thankfulness, great gratitude for all these gifts that keep us moving forward in this most beautiful church that brings tears to my eyes. I have a hard moment. Thank you, everyone. So, okay, next we would like to do the church affirmation. And we totally accept the belief of Lake Superior Interfaith Church. We know that as our thoughts of trust and joyful anticipation join in harmony with the thoughts of all the members of this fellowship, we attract the right ministerial leadership to our spiritual community, and we are grateful. Phyllis, would you like to do a benediction? Or else I could. I can't.
There we go. Sure. I
Okay.
would love to. Father God, Mother Earth, we're so grateful for the opportunity to share with one another in this sacred place, to know you are all with us, supporting us, whatever our challenges. That you keep our hearts open, please, to all that we can, all that we will do to make change on the planet. Gathering in this place, we recall one another, our personal pursuits, our personal beliefs, and those of others which we embrace. We go forth into this week embracing truth and the authentic self, which is surely contagious. Amen.
Thank you, Phyllis. Next, we'll sing God Be With You Till We Meet Again, and Michael will lead it. Thank you.
God be with you till we meet again. But need to podcast gold you on his love securely fold you. God be with you till we meet again. God be with you till we meet again. Neath his wings protecting hide you. Daily manna still provide you. God be with you till we meet again.
Thank you so much, Michael. I'd like to say thank you for everybody who's here and everybody who's on Zoom, and Phyllis, thank you so much. I'm having a moment. You have to excuse me. It's like I'm just so grateful. So we'll see you all next week, and Jasmine will be speaking Easter Sunday, and all is well. Thank you, everybody. Take care. Bye.